Hello, my friends. Okay, so this is Manifestation Mastery Course video 37A. And today we're going to talk about how to light jump to a higher vibrational manifestation. And this is a technique where literally, I have come to believe that this world is actually a manifestation factory. It is a holodeck, a holographic manifestation machine. And we have come here as souls to learn how to create and how to manifest. It's the whole reason that we come here. We come here to learn how to do that. And more importantly, we're coming here to increase our bliss, our joy. The whole purpose of life is to be in orgasmic joy. Now, how to do that and how to experience that from the level of our soul, this is why we do spiritual practice, this is why we meditate, this is why all the stuff that I teach, everything that I teach, whether we're talking about shamanism or qigong or meditation or runes or astrology, all of these things are designed to get you to operate from the soul and to manifest this blissful, crazy, beautiful experience for your soul. Okay? So we've been talking about how to manifest, 37 videos now into this series. And the recent videos I've been talking about how to manifest the unbelievable. And so this is where you're no longer, and if you're at this place, that's okay. Start from the beginning and you can work through the exercises and work through how to get to the level I'm talking about. So in the beginning, we're just trying to manifest just normal life. We want to have, people don't find these things unless they're struggling. People want more money. They want more success. They want more health. They want more love. They want more happiness. They're miserable a lot of times. And so please do not think that I'm above all of that. I know that life can be extremely challenging and difficult, and that's okay. If you adopt my assumption about what all that means, it doesn't matter how bad things are, no matter how miserable you are, you can change your reality, and you can literally turn this world into a manifestation machine where you just intend your reality and it manifests for you. And it's okay wherever you are. You're down at the bottom and you're just trying to be able to have enough money to pay bills and feed your kids and have a place to live and be healthy. It's the same process. But let's say you've been doing this for a while and you've been able to achieve a level of manifestation where your three selves are communicating: your higher self, your lower self, your middle self, your conscious mind, your unconscious, your subconscious, and your conscious mind, your soul, is able to communicate together, and now you're starting to figure out how this game works. You're able to make it work for you. In order to do that, you have to first adopt an assumption. So very quickly, what is an assumption? Everybody has assumptions. And whether or not your assumptions are accurate will determine the actions and the beliefs and the reality that you create. If you have an assumption that the universe is an evil, cold, cruel place, that will be the basis from which you create everything. So your entire life will be fighting against the evil, cold, cruel universe that wants you miserable because you adopted that assumption. Now you say to me, but that's been my experience. I understand. That's a whole other issue. If you operate from the assumption that this universe is your personal playground for your soul, and that all of the challenges you experience are things that you have chosen to fight against so that your soul can grow and learn how to master reality, and you've given yourself these challenges no matter how difficult, if you operate from that assumption, I guarantee you can have success. I guarantee you. If you operate from a different assumption, if you operate from the assumption that there are beings out there stronger than you, that there's a God out there looking down, judging you, that there are evil beings and forces who can curse you and keep you trapped, that is what you will experience. If you are willing to change your assumption that those experiences are there for you to learn and to grow, and that you yourself are God, infinite God in finite form. If you operate from that assumption, no matter how difficult your challenges are, I guarantee you, you can overcome them. I know, because I've had my own experience with maybe not your level of challenges, but I wouldn't wish my challenges in my life on anybody. But I chose them, and I have overcome them up to this point. Okay, so here's another assumption you need to adopt in order for this to work, and if you've heard it, then review is good. Your soul, before it incarnated, before it decided to become human, was infinite, omnipotent, omniscient, and lived in a state of infinite bliss and joy. And that got rather boring, because the soul wanted to grow, it wanted to experience. When you're experiencing everything all at the same time, it's very blissful, but it's not the same as being feeling as though you're in a limited universe, having to learn and to grow. Listen, there's a reason why we love watching Lord of the Rings. It's because the quest, think about how that's built. You have this magical world with magical beings everywhere, and here's this tiniest of beings called the Hobbit, and this tiniest of beings has the ability, from the nobility of his soul, to overcome the temptation of fear and limitation and greed, which the ring represents. Every other being, if you put the ring in their hands, they become overwhelmed with lust and greed, and it consumes them, and they can't touch it. I can't go anywhere near that, but the Hobbit can, because he has this strength of soul and he has this nobility within him. He is the only being, even though he's this little being, and he can't fight against anything. He doesn't have all kinds of magical powers. Because of the nobility of his soul, he can walk and take that quest to go and put the ring into the fires of Mount Doom. We watch those shows because that is what our soul goes through. Our soul wants the quest. Human life is like LARP. We want the quest. We want to do that. It's fun. When we're in the middle of it, just like when we're watching the movie, whatever it is, and oh my God, the evil orc is about to destroy, and the trolls have him, and we're like, no! Gandalf falls down through the crack because the demon, the fire demon with his whip, pulls him down into the... And we're like, no, Gandalf! It's just a movie. Turn the movie off, we wipe our tears, and we eat some popcorn, and we just have fun. It's the same for the soul. In the middle of your life, you think it is the worst possible thing you could go through. The pain is overwhelming. I understand, I've been there. But if you operate from the realm of your soul, it is a fun challenge. A lot of people get pissed off when I say that. I understand, life can be tragic. Some of you have gone through things I can't even begin to imagine. I've gone through my own. When you overcome them and you get the strength of that, thunder is agreeing with me. Listen to the thunder. When you gain that power, it is the soul becomes so huge with that power. So that's the assumption. Your soul said, I want to experience my joy and my bliss. Your sole purpose, God's will. You don't have to sit on your prayer mat and say, God, what is your will for me? Because you already know what your will is, what God's will is, because your soul has this joy implanted in it. When you fantasize about what you really want and it makes you happy and joyous, that's God's will. That's your purpose. Go do it. So you, in this state of infinite bliss, your soul said, I want to achieve this in this three-dimensional world, so I'm going to program within myself this feeling of joy about whatever this is you're supposed to accomplish. Now, the soul, if that's all it were, you would just manifest here and follow your joy and make it happen, that would be too boring also. The soul needs fun. And fun is just like video games, you need challenges. Without challenges, it's not fun. So built into that is the karmic challenge. So you will have a karmic challenge. You will continuously through your life be faced with a choice between the joy that drives you forward towards your ultimate soul desire and pleasing other people. You're either going to have to choose between pleasing your parents, and it usually is, no matter what. If I talk to somebody at some point, we get back to at some point when they were a little kid. You know, your parents told you that money was evil, or your dad sat around and complained about the goddamn taxes and the government and money, and you got this message that money is bad, money causes problems. And so in order to not make your dad look bad, let's say if he sits around and complains about God damn it, and I don't have any money, and you don't want to make dad look bad, so you don't want money. If you have money, you'll make dad look bad. That's one example. Could be anything. Could be anything. You wanted to be a ballerina and your parents wanted you to be a scientist. So you went and became a scientist because that's what you're supposed to do. And all the while you dreamt of being a ballerina. Right? Okay, so you will have to choose between your joy and fitting into society, pleasing other people, doing what's politically correct, something along those lines. And when you choose to go after what your soul wants, even if it means you will be rejected, you'll be ostracized, you might even be criticized or attacked, when you go after your joy, even though you may suffer that, your soul goes and it grows a little further and it goes yeah, and you gain experience and knowledge and wisdom. And then by your example, you teach others to fearlessly go after what they want regardless of the consequences. As my ancestors said, when you die in battle, you go to Valhalla, which means when you are willing to die for the soul, for your soul, you will go to Valhalla. If you die from illness and old age, which represents weakness, fear, cowardice, when you operate from that, you go to the underworld. The underworld is where you're trapped in your psychological issues. So it means if you go after what you truly love, regardless of the consequences, you will live in heaven in your life. You will have bliss, you will have enlightenment, whatever word you want to use. If you operate out of fear, meaning you want to be accepted by the world, accepted by your parents, it's more important for you to be with an abusive spouse than it is to go and live your dream, then you will live hell. Hell meaning punishment, the underworld, your craziness. You will be trapped in your unconscious garbage. So freedom and liberation is nothing other than following the soul. The soul tells you what it wants by listening to its joy. That's the assumption. That's the assumption that I came to the conclusion of. I've been operating my life on that, and it has worked. These videos I share with you on my channel. I share with you my personal journey. I tell you what I'm about to do, not knowing what the outcome is, so that you can prove me right or wrong. I mean, I am the guinea pig. I am your guinea pig. I go out and do it, and you can see whether or not it works. And you'll see. So far, it's worked. All right, so what happens when you get to this level of manifestation where you've manifested what you want, and now you ask yourself, like I do, what is it that I want? I ask myself that all the time. What is it that I want? And then what starts to come into your fantasy is something that, oh man, that's impossible. That's just not reasonable. That's impossible. And you'll come up with all these reasons why. I don't have the money, I'm too old, I'm too young. People come onto my channel and they want to fight with me about things. Somebody wanted to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about when it came to what enlightenment was. I don't have any ego about that. If you have a different idea of enlightenment, that's fine with me. I don't care. I don't have any ego about that. This is my experience of what I think enlightenment is. The person wants to argue with me, enlightenment is not that, it's this and that and the other thing. And I said, why are you wasting your time arguing with me? Go teach the world that. You have this wisdom. You know better than I do. Seriously, good for you. I don't agree with your understanding, but I don't have to. It's none of my... Maybe you've got a whole different... Go teach people your version of enlightenment. People need to hear it. If it's important enough for you that you have to come onto my channel and correct me about how I'm wrong, it means that you have a wisdom and a knowledge that the world needs. It's bothering you so much you had to comment about it. Don't waste your time arguing with me on a stupid YouTube comment section. Go teach. To which he responded, well, I'm not a teacher yet because I don't know enough. I just had to tell you that you were wrong. What a crock of shit. Don't give me that false humility crap. That's your ego. Your ego pretending to have false humility. If you've been given knowledge, it is your responsibility to teach the world. And so you don't want to be criticized like you're criticizing me. You don't want to say what enlightenment is because you're afraid somebody else is going to tell you you're full of crap. That's not my problem. That's your problem. You have to deal with that. That is the burden of being a teacher. You want knowledge and you have to share it, you're going to be criticized. That's just the way it is. Get over it. But seriously, go live that. I mean that. When I tell people, don't argue with me, go teach it. Go write your own books. Go make your own videos. I'm not just being, hostile and aggressive. I mean it. Go do it. The universe needs it. I don't have all the answers. I have the answers for me. They may not be your answers. I'm okay with that. The more the merrier. The more teachers out there teaching the truth that are doing it because their soul is driving them to teach that reality, the happier the whole world is going to be. And you don't have to have all the knowledge. You don't have to be fully enlightened. You don't have to have perfected anything. Teach what you know. Go teach. If you want to argue with me, go teach. Better use of your time. I forgot how I got off on that, but all right. So you're at this level of manifestation and you start to ask yourself, what is it that I want? And it is just unbelievable. Oh my God, that is so amazing. And it's impossible. As I said, if you want it, if it makes you happy when you think about it, you're destined to have it. Your soul has said, I'm supposed to have this, which means if it truly is impossible in your reality, guess what? You are now ready to jump to the next level. You are going to go into a new dimension. And as wonderful as that sounds, and it is wonderful, you will have to transform. It's like, those movies where people are transformed into werewolves, right? And it's always this painful, challenging experience because their bones are growing and they're screaming in pain as their body is morphing into this, this werewolf. Same kind of thing. There will come a point when the vibrational level, as it starts pulling you, the vibrations are going to start tearing you apart, and pieces of your old lower vibrational self are going to crack and fall off, and your ego is going to have to go through a whole restructuring process, and the fear, because you will go through a death, the shamanic death, the fear of going to the next level, the actual pain of psychological transformation that must happen in order for your psyche to expand, to accept the new reality. That is a very real thing. So what do you do about that? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about light jumping to the next manifestational. What did I call it? Light jump to a higher vibrational manifestation. That's the key word, the vibrational manifestation. The vibrations get higher and higher. So I'm at that stage. I'm going to be totally honest with you. You watch me up to this point. I started to see a reality that I did not think was possible. I just didn't think it was possible. I won't get into it, but You have your own reasons, I had mine reasons, it wasn't possible. And then I said, no, I want it. I don't care if it's possible or not. I want it. I'm going to have it. I committed myself that that's it. When I do that, it comes to me. It came to me. It is now coming to me. It's in the process of coming to me. And I am going through that werewolf transformation where, in order to meet that vibrational essence, I have to let go and die to old ideas. And I'm going through physical pain. I'm going through, I'm having nightmares. I'm having irrational fears. And it's very frightening. And all of those things are my unconscious limitations trying to stop me, because again, your unconscious thinks it's trying to protect you. You think that that the reality is only this big. Your unconscious says, well, that's the safe place to be. We'll live there. That starts to fall apart, and this higher one, which actually will bring you more joy, more bliss, and more happiness, and more health and healing to other people. In order to do that, you have to change your idea of who you are, and your unconscious goes, no, that's who we are, we'll die, no. And it literally causes chaos in your world. It can cause chaos in your life, can cause you physical injury, can cause you physical illness, can cause you financial distress, can cause you distress with people, family, friends, relationships, and things like your car breaking down, and getting into an accident, and all these kinds of things are your external life reflecting that your unconscious is trying to keep you back to where you belong, but it's too late. You've already seen it, you've tasted it, and you're now going to... Thunder agrees. You are going to transform. There's nothing you can do. And so now you have to go through the shamanic death. Shamans go through initiations, and depending on the culture and the time period that we're talking about, it can actually be a physical death where a shaman will die and then resurrect. It can be they go insane. It can be that they become sick. But there is a shamanic initiation. In some shamanic cultures, the shaman will go into a dream state where the gods will take their body, chop their body up into pieces, throw it into a boiling vat, and then pull the body out, and it'll be a new body. That's not a pleasant experience. That's the person dreams that their arms are being cut off, and they go through this really horrific, frightening, destruction, and then being put back together. The ancestors, the gods, have chosen to do that, and they feel like they have no choice over the matter. That is a shamanic initiation. So when you make this light jump, you may very well go through a shamanic initiation. And so this is where spiritual practice is absolutely essential. Mantra meditation, or qigong, or just meditation in general, where you focus inward, and this is where you have chosen. You say, I'm not going to be a victim of circumstance and feel like I'm getting torn to pieces. You go and you do some kind of spiritual practice in order to consciously realize it is your choice. You have chosen to manifest at a higher level. You have chosen to transform, and you're going to honor that by doing your spiritual work, which is dying to your old self and being reconstructed. I do qigong because it feels good. I get high from it. The Celestial Qigong, courses.thunderwizard.com. Celestial Qigong is the most powerful Qigong I know of, and it gets me really high when I do it, but it also takes me through shamanic initiations. But the pleasure principle always works. The pleasure outweighs the pain, and I follow it. Now, I'm smart enough to know that when I'm in this experience of the pain is more challenging, then I'm not experiencing the pleasure, and I'm just, the pain of the psychological transformation is all I see. Because I've done it enough, I know if I continue to go through this, I'm going to get to the pleasure. So I always do it for the pleasure principle. And you have to understand that spirituality is just like life. We do it because we selfishly want to feel better. We want to feel good. There's nobody here listening to me that doesn't go after enlightenment because they think it's a good idea. They go after enlightenment because they don't want to be in pain. This is what the guy I was arguing with was saying. He was saying that enlightenment is the cessation of pain. I disagree with that. I think that's a rather naive, immature way to look at it, but that's where it starts. People go after it because they don't want to be in pain anymore, so they seek enlightenment. They don't realize that enlightenment is actually facing your pain, taking responsibility for it, and continuing to move forward knowing that more pain and more challenges will come. True enlightenment, in my definition, is having all of your feelings, no matter how challenging, no matter how painful, and having the ability to look from above and take conscious, constructive action through it. That is enlightenment. The power to make conscious, constructive actions and choices regardless of how you feel. If enlightenment is just how you feel and you get to this place, well, I have no problems and now I'm enlightened, you haven't achieved anything. Anybody can, that takes nothing. There's nothing to achieve there. But I understand you want to be free of pain, so that's what you think enlightenment is. I did too. That's okay. I don't think that anymore. All right, that's not to say that when you get to the realm of enlightenment that there isn't bliss, which is what I'm talking about. Getting to this next level of jumping to the next vibrational level, there is unbelievable bliss. I know because I've experienced it. There was an experience where I left my body as a kid and I went to whatever you want to call heaven, and I saw that light. I merged with it. The orgasmic bliss was, in the beginning, it was so amazing. It was painful. And then when I let go of my body and myself and I merged with it, the bliss of connecting with infinity and with spirit was so freaking orgasmic. That's what's waiting for all of us. And we can achieve that in this life as well. I am in that phase right now. I imagined what I wanted, I accepted it. I was willing to change my assumptions about what I can experience in this life. And it came to me. And now I'm having to adjust to allow it to happen. And it's frightening because I have to die to myself. So I am going to be sharing with you the hacks that I have learned and that I will be practicing as I go through this transformation. And I'm going to share that with you in the next video. So what you're going to do next is you're going to go to thunderwizard.com. And on the right-hand side, you're going to click on Manifestation Mastery Course and you are going to subscribe. And yes, it is going to cost you money to subscribe because I am dead serious about achieving ascension, achieving enlightenment, achieving a state of being and mind and body beyond what we believe is possible. I have done it throughout my life and I am continuing to do it. And in my experience, unless you are dead seriously committed, it's worthless. Even if I were to give it to you, if I were to hand it to you, if you weren't committed, nothing would happen. That's been my experience. So you are going to subscribe because you are serious about it and you want to experience what I am talking about, and you are willing to subscribe to try it. And if once you have access to the entire channel, you can see all of the high-level shamanic training that's there and the Manifestation Mastery Course, the hacks that I teach you. After you've experienced that, if you don't like it after a month, you can unsubscribe. And all it has cost you is probably what it costs you for the month to drink coffee every day. So you are going to subscribe because you are dead serious about it and you want to know those secret hacks and you are willing to prove to the universe that you are serious about it. So that's where you're going to go. You go to thunderwizard.com, click on subscribe at the Manifestation Mastery Course, and then you're going to click on Manifestation Mastery Course 37B, which is the companion to this video. All right, I will see you there.